Week 29, day 1, developing the quality of compassion so that you are a role model for a compassionate person. That's the whole gist of this, to make you a role model for these qualities. There aren't a great deal of role models for these qualities in the world today. They skipped a generation. You young people, it's up to you now to develop these qualities so that you're the role models. You're the older brother, the ones, because there was a generation that was skipped. Compassion, the definition is a suffering with another, hence empathy. Sorrow for the distress or misfortune of another with a desire to help. This is page 157. developingcharacter.org, PDF file. Sorrow for the distress or misfortune of another with the desire to help. I'm going to give you some advice. If you're in a position of authority, a coach, a position coach, a teacher, an employer, any person with the authority over another one, go visit their house. Of all the things that I ever did in the 40 years I coached football, the best thing I ever did, there was no second place thing. The very best thing I ever did was to go visit the houses of the kids that played for me. Until you go and see where they're coming from, you don't really know how they're dealing with everything. I had a great example in Marshall, Texas. I went and visited a kid that was a really good football player for us, a good athlete, and a good person. And I went to the house, and in the house, and this is a true story, even though it sounds embellished, I promise you it is not embellished a bit. In the middle of the floor, a hole had been dug out, or the wood had been cut out of the floor, and there was a hole there with a grate around it. And in that hole, they put firewood, and that's how they heated their house. Now, in that house, there was probably, the night I was there was probably 9 people there, coming in, going out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And the player didn't introduce them to me, so I don't know for sure if they were aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, or just friends. There was no mom, there was no dad there that he introduced me to. And he and I talked, and there was one adult that visited with me. And he talked a great deal about football, but not much about the player. So I left there and I thought to myself, I wonder how much sleep he gets at night in this situation. This was in February, and it was cold. So I know that heat did not go to the other parts of the house, because I was raised in a house that had a wood stove in the kitchen. And in our bedroom, where the 6 boys slept, there was no stove. And I know there wasn't any heat in that bedroom. So I had compassion for him from the standpoint of how much sleep was he getting at night. And not long after that, I get a note from a teacher that has this student first period every day, and she is so disturbed that he sleeps during her class. And I thought to myself, I know why he sleeps during her class. He doesn't sleep at night. So we need to figure out a way to solve this. Back then they had what they call study hall. And you had an hour each day of study hall. So I went to the principal and the assistant principal, and the assistant principal was a very good assistant principal. And we moved that student from first period class to a first period study hall with me. And he came in every morning early to that first period, and he napped, he slept. And that might have been the most sleep he got. Now that's compassion. When you know where somebody's coming from, there's an old Indian saying that don't judge someone until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And I think that's so true. That's compassion. But you got to know where somebody's coming from. And if you're a person in authority, go see where they're coming from. And I hear this, well, I'm a 6A school, and we got way too many kids for me to go see everybody. Well, you got enough coaches that you can all go see somebody. If you broke it down into the number of coaches that I see at a 6A school, nobody would go see more than 10 or 12 kids. I visited 40 to 45 every year. And it was the best thing I did because I knew where they were coming from. And I wasn't ever so arrogant to say, we're going to have a parents' night up here and you come up here to the school and listen to me. I went to their house. And I told them, here's what it's going to take to play, and here's what it's going to take to start, and here's where we are. These are the rules. And it's so much better to coach somebody when you know where they're coming from. You got some compassion. Am I compassionate to all the players? I was compassionate to those players that came every day. I had more compassion for the Jacob Dennisons, the Keyshawn Flowers, that never missed a practice. They came every day. And they came from two totally different worlds, two different home lives. But they came every day. That's why I designed the Nevertheless dog tag that some of you are going to get. I had tremendous compassion. They came every day. Now, they were sick some days. And there were days that one of them would come up to me and say, Coach, I sure don't feel very good today. I mean, I'm not really at my top. So, if I don't give it, if I don't get mad at me. And I appreciated that honesty. And I appreciated the fact that they knew they could come to me and say, Coach, I've been sick. I had to stay up last night doing a term paper. I had to do this. I had to do that. I had compassion. That's why I designed an award on our wall. I put the pictures of those people that had perfect attendance because God gives you talent. And if you run for 1,000 yards or make 93 tackles or intercept 7 passes or throw 31 touchdown passes, you need to put a picture of God Almighty up there on the wall because that's where you got the talent. And if you're an atheist, you got it from your mom and dad. You should put a picture of them up there. But if you come every day and never miss a day, you need to have your picture on the wall. That's the people you have compassion for because they found a way to get there every day. Compassion, walk a mile in their shoes. Look at the quote. You can have anything in life you want if you help enough other people get what they want. If you work real hard for somebody else to get what they want, you'll get what you want. That's the key. Be a role model for compassion. Write your goals. Write down your goals. You're going to become a purpose-driven individual. We're going to develop the quality of compassion this week. Make it a great week.